Hey guys, it's your girl Juju from Love and Hip Hop. I'm here with my makeup artist Jamal Scott, and we're gonna show you guys how to recreate my reunion look.
So the first thing we're gonna do is start off with Juju's eyebrows. She has fabulously groomed eyebrows, so we're just gonna give it a brush. The second step was applying an eyeshadow primer to make sure that the eyeshadow lasts all day and that it stays on.
Normally when I'm at home, I don't use any primer because I'm not too much into shadows. This is something that I asked Jamal to do for reunion, but I'm usually not a shadow girl, so this is all Jamal.
So the palette that we used for the reunion was the Huda Beauty palette, and it's my favorite palette because it had a mixture of textures and tones, and it had all of the colors that Juju was trying to feature in her look. So the first thing that we did when we started off the eyeshadow was apply a transition color. And we just go back and forth in a windshield wiper motion and circular motions on the outside to make sure that we don't get any harsh lines. And that's the quintessential smoky eye. A smoky eye doesn't have to be black, it doesn't have to be dark, it can be soft smoky eye. It just means that all the colors are blended together really nicely. So when doing Juju's eyeshadow, you know, she's very strict about having not a lot of eye real estate, so we try to make the best of it. And I try to tell her that it's all about application and making sure that you make those eyes look big, bright, and awake.
What he means by eye real estate is the space in between my eyebrows and my eyes, and I think mine is very small, so I don't want any shadow on it. So I always tell him, no shadow, just worry about my skin. So that's what he means.
So going in with a deeper cranberry color, I'm gonna apply that to the outside of her crease. And with that, we're gonna go into a black shade. Juju, how often do you dip into black shades?
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done any smoky looks with any black, have we?
No. A lot of people are scared of blacks because they see it as just black, but a lot of people don't see it as a deepener. So let's say you have an orange, that black is just gonna make it go deeper and deeper and deeper. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna go to jet black. And now that we've got that beautiful depth on the outside, now it's time to add the pop shade on the lid. Tell us a little bit about your selection for the shade that we use on your lid.
My dress had some pinks and some purple tones in it, and I sent Jamal a few reference pictures, and then we just went from there. I just showed him what I wanted, and he basically saw the looks but created his own thing, which was really good.
So, for her lid, we used a really beautiful rose petal pink, and I used it on a flat shader brush. The reason why I'm pressing instead of swiping like the other ones is because I want this color to be as bold as possible. Open up for me. So already, that lid color is giving you more impact than any other colors that we've had on the lid. And it's all just through a matter of switching brushes. So for the star of the look, we used a shimmering golden, rose goldy kind of shimmer color in the highlight of her eyes. And Juju has, as she says, she likes to make her eyes look bigger. So by putting a highlight into the tear duct of the eye, it's gonna open it up, make it look a lot more awake and a lot brighter. So another one of the big things with Juju's look was her liner. Juju loves a good feline liner. She loves to make her eyes winged out and tapered. And to start, I like to apply from the outside, gently pressing the brush. A lot of people use an eyeliner brush this way, directly onto the eye, as opposed to using it flat. When you use it flat, as you can see, the brush actually creates the straight line for you. So now that we've built a solid line, we're gonna go in on the inside of the eye and flick outwards, just like so. And then following that line, we're gonna bring it back down. Now I'm just lifting that skin to see if there's any areas that I need to straighten out and finesse. I'm gonna go back in to taper that line out. So as you can see, a wing liner isn't done in one whack. It takes a couple passes to get a seamless, continuous fluid line. And that's gonna be the perfect base to put our beautiful lashes on. So now that we're ready for the drama, we're gonna start adding and building some lashes. And my first step to building lashes is using a good mascara. It's really quintessential that you get a brush that's going to be specifically for your lash type. And Juju has pretty long lashes, but hers just needs definition and length. And being that we use a lash on top of her already thick, luscious lashes, I like to give it a protective coat of mascara. I start at the top and I roll, like that, like I'm just rolling the brush. Right? And then I go from the bottom and I push the lashes upward, from the root going upward. You want the most product to be at the root. So here are some tips for getting your lashes together and on and applied all day. The first step is to trim them. Make sure they're trimmed. Any excess outside or inside corners can poke and irritate, so make sure that's taken care of. Make sure that you allow the glue to get tacky and dried before you apply the lash. This is gonna make sure that the lash goes on smoothly and it doesn't move around. When applying your own lashes, it's best if you're doing it on yourself to look into a mirror, looking down this way, and then using a tweezer and putting the lash on that way. Okay. If you're putting them on a client, the best way is to have your client tilt her head back and eyes looking to the floor. And then you just simply slide them on. So to clean out the fallout, all I did was use a little bit of a moisturizer and my beauty blender, and I just whisked it away. And because we're using an oil, it's gonna remove the makeup completely and not have it drag onto the skin and end up all over the place, which is definitely what we do not want. Going into our primer, we're gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. Whenever doing your foundation, you always want to keep into consideration that the skin is comprised of a lot of different tones. So you want to respect the different tones that's in the skin. So usually when I do a foundation, I'd mix several shades to get the perfect match. So to do that, I'm going to use a couple of concealers and dilute them with a little bit of oil. I like to start off with a deeper color on the perimeter and use a lighter color on the inside because that's usually how the skin tone is made up naturally. Now I'm going to go in with some concealer. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna wing it along with the wing liner. And that's gonna make sure that your liner stays nice and sharp and that you have a clean, precise line. Look out for me, doll. And I'm gonna take the concealer on top of the nose because that's gonna begin our nose contouring process. So what we like to do with contouring is to create a, basically like a spotlight on her. We're gonna accentuate the cheekbones, the forehead, even sometimes above the brow because that's a look that people love to achieve as well. Down the bridge of the nose and on the center of the chin. So how beautiful and glowy and radiant is that foundation? And now I'm gonna show you how to lock those products in. I love a good colored pressed powder. It just makes the skin look so much fresher and youthful and effervescent. And I'm using her exact skin color in the powder, except for under the eyes. I haven't touched under the eyes yet because under there I'm gonna use a way lighter powder and that's gonna kind of help emphasize the spotlighting, highlighting that we just did. And taking this beautiful bronzer, okay, I think this is just gonna look so pretty on camera. Like, how beautiful is that? Gonna lightly start building up that shine onto the cheek.
What's tips on finding the right space where to put it? Because I always have trouble with that.
Smile. This is where the apple of your cheek is. Okay. That's where the cheekbone is. That's where the hairline is. The sweet center spot is right in the middle.
Okay.
To highlight and contour her nose even more, this is like her favorite thing. I can't believe I'm giving away her secret. This is like her ultimate favorite thing, you guys. I take a highlight powder and I go in the middle of the nose and down the tip. Look, she's mad that I'm giving away her tricks.
I'm not mad. We can share.
So after I've completed the skin, I like to go in and do the eyeliner on the inside because we're gonna be adding eyeshadows below it. I like to make sure that I have a perfectly clean slate that already is powdered and foundation, so that way blending the eyeshadows under the eye is gonna be a lot smoother. Look out for me. This is my favorite pencil, the L'Oreal Smoldering Pencil. It's a Kajal, which is basically a kohl-based eyeliner, and it's very, very soft and buttery. Juju, how do you feel about it, being that, you know, you're not a makeup artist, you know, and you do it on yourself? Do you find that it's...
I love it. He used it on me a couple weeks ago, and I went out and bought it, and I love it. Yeah. And it's, what, $5?
Yeah. I'm using the same brush that we use for her eyeshadows on her lid because it has that whole compilation of all those warm colors that's happening on the brush. So now that's gonna aid in blending and keeping the color story consistent. So when applying cheek color, I like to apply a cream blush. I feel like it just gives a more realistic skin finish and it kind of adds to the glow. Where there's creaminess, there's usually a sheen. And smile for me. So now when she smiles, you can pick up those beautiful highlights onto the cheeks.
My inspiration for my lip was Barbie. I wanted a Barbie pink look, so I wanted my eyes and my lips to be in the same family, kind of mesh together.
So now we're gonna line her lips and we're using a pinky brown kind of tone just because we want to make sure that she has definition, but it's not too bright. When building and creating a lip, I like to start on the inside and fade it out. Especially when you have a deeper skin tone, this is gonna make sure that the lip doesn't overpower the entire face and the entire look. And I'm using a fine lip brush, mixing a variety of different pinks together. And then to top it all off, we're gonna use 2 glosses. One that's nude and pink with reflex of diamonds and like blue and pink. And then we have a bubblegum pink. We're gonna mix it together to create our own perfect gloss. And we're gonna focus that gloss on the inside. And focusing it towards the center so that way you get the maximum pout and maximum lip plumpage effect. And there you have it, Juju's look for season 7 reunion.
Thank you, Jamal.
You're welcome, my love.